Life. Life happens exactly when you least expect it to. But when it happens, what do you do? Do you stay back, hold back, or do you face the challenge head square on? Well, whether in your 20s or in your 30s or in your 40s, whenever you say life starts, life starts. So today on the episode, I'll be speaking to another amazing software engineer that's taking the bulls by the horn and doing amazingly well. Let's get to today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. The name is The Coach Champ, and oh my god, I have one of the delectable personality I've met ever in the UK. Right here, I have Daria Kafla. I hope I didn't know that name, but yeah, let me introduce you straight away. Over to you, Daria. Let's meet you.
Hi, Victoria. Thank you. Yeah, you did not butcher my name. That was perfect. I think that was the first time somebody really has it perfectly. So thank you. I've introduced myself. I guess just simple stuff. I'm Daria. I live in London with my husband. I guess the more interesting part for this conversation is that I made the switch into coding, into tech in my mid-30s. I was really, really scared. It's too late, but it isn't. Did the coding boot camp, got to meet you. So now I'm here with you as well. So I'm super psyched about that.
Ah, wow, amazing. Honestly, I know you had started a particular career path before taking the courage to, say, oh, so this is what I want in life next. And it takes a lot of courage to just drop what you know for the unknown. Yeah. So can you tell us what drove you, what made you say, you know what, I'm doing this?
Yes, specifically with coding and making that switch, is that honestly just COVID hit and I had the opportunity. Right, all of a sudden everything stops and you're like, what am I actually doing, right? And it's something I've been looking into for a long time, but basically during that time I actually had a chance to do some self-studying, understand what it is that I actually want to go into in that industry, which is huge, right? There's so many roles, and I knew I wanted something technical, but I had absolutely I didn't know where to begin. Some self-studying, and I did the coding bootcamp as well. But before that, I honestly didn't really know what I wanted in my career life, in my working life.
Yeah.
Actually, before coding, the first time I actually consciously decided that I want to do something specific was that when I went to work in film and TV. So I used to, back in a previous life, do that as well. And I realized, you know what, I did that once before. I was able to decide on something that I want, and I just took the steps to do that. I have to say with tech and coding, it took way more work.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a cool decision that I'm lucky to have been able to make. Definitely, especially with coding, when you need to take so much time to learn and stuff. And for me personally, it's not something I would have been able to do if I had to work as well, like do evening lessons. Just because I just cannot do that with my abilities. I have to do one thing at a time. Yeah. So I was lucky that I took the chance with COVID. You're on furlough anyway, right? Happened to have some savings and just went for it. I feel like lucky timing for sure.
Ah, that's amazing. Okay, so something about Daria that you guys don't know is that Daria is a go-getter and she has this amazing people skills. I was always telling her, I always said, Daria, when you coordinate people, it's always amazing. She wouldn't make you feel less of yourself, and yet she's still coordinating. So that's one superpower that Daria has. And I know that. So I'm planning to do a series or an episode where I talk about the journey after bootcamp or the journey to getting a job, how crazy that is. Because at some point I was thinking, should I just drop this journey? Should I get something else? And I know a lot of people go through that kind of mental problem, mental issues, mental health, and we don't acknowledge it enough. So I think what I would say is that what made you say I will stick to this software engineering, like I will get this job? Because I know at some point, forgive me, but I was saying, oh, Daria, will you think of product management? Do you think because you're really good at it? But that might look like, oh, I'm coming from a good place, but it might not be a good place for you because that's not what you wanted. So what how did you stick it out that till I get my job, the perfect fit? Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess there's two sections to this question, and as a good engineer, I'm gonna type out the section so I don't forget.
Okay.
But basically, so I'll start with what you said about being kind of possibly a good PM, a good product manager. First of all, you made me blush with the compliment. So yeah, in terms of from what I see in my job right now, PMs, they basically they herd cats. Honestly, is what they do. They get engineers to do things. And that's actually something very, very similar to what I did in my previous life in film and TV. I was a production coordinator.
Nice.
So I knew I kind of had the skills, but that's not necessarily what I wanted to do. It's extremely hard. I love working with people, but I feel like at this point I just wanted to be kind of part of a team and not necessarily trying to get that team to do stuff. Yeah. So for sure, PM is something that I have considered in the past. So good shout on that. It's just not something I was looking for at the time. And to your second part of the question about not giving up is. So in our boot camp, in our cohort, I was one of the last people to be able to get a job. So I definitely struggled, with oh, what's wrong with me? I'm not good enough, everyone else is just so great. And, I see everyone else's work and it is very good. And I started, really doubting myself. Was I not at the same level? Like, was I just kidding myself, right? Yeah. And basically there are certain, when you do the job search after bootcamp, you definitely go through like sections, of just like feelings and things. At first you're like super like, oh yes, I'm into it. I'm going to send all the CV, everything, right? And after a while when that doesn't work, obviously you get a bit, like self-conscious, like what's going on? What do I need to change? And, I am super, super lucky that my husband, my partner, has been very supportive. And because he's also in the industry, not that he was able to help with getting me a job, but he was able to very much understand where I came from with that job search process. And he really understood exactly what I was going through. So one of the things that really helped me that he said was that it's not that you just don't need to give up. All you need to do is go past the point where somebody else would have given up. And it's like a bit of a hippie thing maybe, but that really, I don't know, that kind of, that worked for me personally, right? Where, I would get to a point where I would say, oh, gosh, well, maybe I'm wasting my time, and I do need money soon, it's been ages. But then I thought, okay, well, this is the point that somebody would give up. I would give up, but all I need to do is get to the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I did. And honestly, through the job search, there have been waves where, I would get a month or two where I would be, busy with interviews and just, feeling like I'm on top of the world. I interviewed at these some companies that with really great names that everyone knows about. And I was like, oh yes, I'm about to get an offer, blah, blah, blah. Nothing happens, right? And then I have 2-3 months where nobody gets back to me, or if somebody gets back to me, they're like, oh, you don't have enough experience. So definitely a roller coaster, but all you need is 1 or 2 offers, right? Ideally, whatever offer you get is a good and it's a fair offer, right? Yeah. Because the thing that you kind of worry about getting to at some point is just saying yes to whoever. And you know what, because I have been in different industries many different times, I have been I worked in various companies, right? So I was also ready to accept an offer, possibly with maybe not the best of places to work at, but just for the experience. So, I ended up lucking out with an amazing company that I'm super happy with. But all I needed to do, all I needed to do was just not give up, right? And you still have to bring yourself to every single interview. Like, it doesn't matter how, you understand. Like, because you know what, just like the recruiter or whoever in front of you has spoken to, hundreds of people possibly at that point. And you spoke to possibly hundreds of recruiters at that point. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it's like Tinder, right? You need to bring the good energy. Like, why would anyone choose you if you're just, being like a sourpuss, right? And on both ends, by the way. So yeah, honestly, all I could do is just, on the days I'm not interviewing, I can be a bit bummed out, right? But on the days I am interviewing, I'm the happiest person you've met the whole week because you have to. So that really helped me, just knowing that I can be sad when I need to, and that's fine. I don't know, just keep going.
Well done. Honestly, I don't know, whoever it is that is watching and you're feeling like you're the only one in the world, you're not. We all had that moment where we almost gave up. And thank God we all had communities, accountability partners that could say you can't give up now. And now we are your accountability partner. We are telling you, don't give up. Keep searching for that. Yeah, that's the energy, girl. Keep searching for that thing, that opportunity, that scholarship, whatever it is that you're searching for. And you just might lock it out like Daria.
Absolutely. With anything in life.
Yes, that's the energy. So I think my next question is, I don't know, I saw these statistics online about 19% of women in tech in the UK, and then that was really, really, really low. And I'm like, come on. Is there a reason why you think women are not in so many in tech? Or is there a reason why? And don't let us even talk about engineering, because engineering is a different total ball game. I'm the only one on our team that is female. So engineering, you rarely see a lot of women in engineering, not then the whole ballpark of tech. So is there a reason why, from your experience right now, why you think, women might not want this for this?
That is a great question, and I feel like it's such a big topic to unpack. There's so many things. I think, I'm not an expert on these things. I haven't researched them. I think possibly in terms of just women in general going into tech, I feel like it would be asking, about men in general going into tech, right? Because most professions in the world are not engineers, right? So I don't know, honestly, to answer that, because I'm just me. I'm not other women, right? So I feel like, so if to take me for example, like I have been actually looking to possibly go into tech many years ago, because I do see from a distance that it is very stable work, right? It is good pay, seems like very good conditions. One of the things that really got me into it, wanting to get into it, is from what looked like a culture of a lot of collaboration, people talking about what they do at work outside of work, which I have never experienced in my life. Why on earth would I want to do work while I'm not at work? But I really liked it. People, it is their hobby for a lot of people. And that kind of environment was kind of seemed really exciting. And I feel like, and the reason I haven't done that in so many years, haven't gotten into it, is because, first of all, life happens, right?
Yeah.
And if we look at it honestly, a lot of, I'm just talking about engineering specifically because I haven't been in other roles in tech, honestly. But many people have been doing coding or things that are similar from a young age because that's what was interesting to them. You can go into, why do most boys like cars and not dolls, or whatever. That's outside of the scope of this conversation, right? But I think it's just it's super complex, I think. But the thing that I'm noticing now is that a lot of companies are actively trying to make it so that whatever we had before, it's important to learn from, but let's move forward, right? Again, I know I'm at my first job in my first big serious tech company, and I see that they are trying, right? I haven't been in other companies. I know that it is a big issue in the industry for good reason, right? I personally, luckily enough, don't feel like I've experienced any issues yet, about being a woman. Hopefully I wouldn't. And honestly, I don't feel like I've been made to feel any different. I'm an engineer. I don't feel like I'm a woman engineer.
No.
And I feel like that's all we can hope for. Right?
So I'm thinking, for instance, I know that I personally wished I had more mentors when I started out my journey. Like, if I run into code error, I wanted people like Stack Overflow, like people who are there to tell me, so I struggled with this, so this is a loop that you're something like that. Someone to just clearly state. So, do you think you're in a position to mentor others? Because many women usually shy from mentorship. They're like, no, I'm not yet that great. I think I need 5 more years before mentoring others. So do you think if that opportunity opened up and somebody's watching you right now and say, so I can reach out to Daria? So do you think, that you'll be open for that for now?
I mean, first of all, anyone feel free to reach out. I am on Twitter. I'm not very active, but maybe after this I will be. Just search my full name, Daria Keffler. I'll be there. But I feel like definitely, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I feel like women a lot of the time tend to be a bit less confident in kind of not necessarily their abilities, but they're a bit more humble about being in a position where they can teach somebody. I know that I do have, I can share from whatever experience I have, even if it's not that big, right? I may not be in the tech industry for a very long time, but I've had, quite a large work history, right? So, and these things, obviously, they aggregate, you build on top of everything, so you can share stuff. In terms of mentorship, if you want to ask me about for loops, I will be happy to forward a Google link to you. I'm more than happy to do that. No, but seriously, even with technical stuff, I haven't had a chance to really sit down and explain anything to anyone yet. But give me a year at my job, maybe I'll get for loops.
Thank you. Okay, I think the next question is very, very cool and chilled. So, what's your everyday like at work? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. On days that I do go to the office, or
anyone you choose.
Doesn't matter. Okay. So at my company, they are very flexible, which I'm super happy about. So if I want to, I can come into the office every day, or I can just not come in at all. Usually I just get up in the morning, I don't know, about 7. I wish I would have done earlier, but I'm still getting used to it, to be honest with you. Just do morning, whatever people do in the morning stuff, get my coffee, sit down. The way our work day looks like is that we have at a certain time in the morning, we have stand up for my squad, my team. That we kind of catch up what we've been doing, what we're planning on doing for the rest of the day. Usually after that, I would just kind of check my emails for a few minutes, see if I have any meetings coming in.
Hmm.
Not that I'm that important, but
She
meetings
is
are usually,
important.
things that have to do with
Yeah,
maybe in the future, but like
I understand.
company things or
Yeah.
one-on-ones, which a quick note on one-on-ones. I feel like
Mm.
it's such a crucial and important thing to have, and
Yeah.
one of the things that tells me that this is a great industry in general is that there is that culture and that
Mm-hmm.
understanding that you need them and they are helpful. And I wish many industries and
Be
all
like
industries
that.
would take them on. But yeah, basically, so I have my one-on-ones somewhere in the week,
Mm.
and most of the time, yeah, you go on whatever ticket management system the
Platform.
company
Yeah.
has, get a ticket, basically something that tells you this is we need to solve this in the code
Yeah.
base. Spend a lot of time trying to understand what the hell it is I'm reading, right? Because let's be honest,
Yeah.
I need help at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually I would do pair coding with my mentor. I do have somebody on the squad that basically is my go-to person
Nice.
to ask questions. Yeah. I feel like a lot of companies have that in place.
Yeah.
So this is really good. Like if you interview at a company and they have mentorships, that's really, really good. That's a good sign. So that I have a person that I can ask. If they're not in, I can feel free to ask anyone on the squad. Everyone's super, super friendly. I like to help. And you just do that for the rest of the day and chill or cry depending on how bad the ticket is. But yeah, it's the thing is it's a lot of thinking and a lot of like planning and just really, really using your brain a lot.
Yeah.
And like coming, not that I didn't use my brain in film and TV or whatever other industry I was in, but
Yeah.
where you just sit down with like a notebook and just think. And it's okay when you tell people, guys, do not disturb me, right? I had my headphones on or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's really nice that people also like you have that understanding that, oh, this person has headphones in or whatever, like do not disturb them. So very nice. Yeah.
Okay, I was laughing so hard because tech or coding has different emotions. One minute you are like I just solved that logic.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm the best.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm Steve Jobs right now. I'm so intelligent. Next minute you're like I'm
Yeah.
daft. Oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
Why am I taking
Yeah.
forever? And then you find out that you just forgot to add maybe a semicolon, and you're like, wow, really
Yeah.
JavaScript. So yeah,
Absolutely.
so I see that emotions every day, but every day the more one you practice, the better
Mhm.
you become and more confident. Yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, I want to say something about that because I feel like, especially when you're starting, it's very easy to be in the mindset of, oh, yeah, I'm just learning. I mean, I'm messing up now, but that's fine. I'll be great, like the senior people on my team. But then the great thing about pairing with people as well is that you see, no matter how senior, the people, they go through exactly the same roller coaster, and there's a reason why imposter syndrome is such a big topic in tech, because absolutely everyone experiences it, right? I sat with an engineer and together we googled something that we both thought was very basic, right? And I'm very junior and he was senior. And it's okay, right? Because you can't expect to learn to remember everything. Yeah. And I feel like, especially when you're studying and especially when you are interviewing and you don't even know what you're supposed to know necessarily or what is okay for you not to know. You can't beat yourself up. Like you need to be gentle with yourself
be
and
kind.
understand.
Be
Yeah.
kind.
Because most importantly is not to know something. It's to not give up, especially when you're interviewing, not give up and just say, oh, you know what, actually I'm not sure about this. I think maybe it could be this. What do you think? Right? Try and work together with people. It's just so important not to be in the mindset, I feel like, of oh, I'm so stupid, I don't know it, because that's okay, you're not gonna know it.
No, you're not.
Most likely you're not gonna remember a lot of things, so that's fine. Yeah.
That's really, really, really encouraging because a lot of people drop off tech even before starting, like, no, I can't do this, is it makes me look vulnerable. And that's what coding is about. You're going to be vulnerable over
Yeah.
and over again. You're going to think, oh, I have a hang around this, and the next minute you don't have a hang around it.
Yeah.
Like, I think one thing Charlotte always said was, be comfortable to fail. Don't feel like separate your personality from code if
Yeah.
that's possible, because a code is failing, that's not you failing. The code is failing, the code is doing well, that's not you. You
Yeah.
can take the credit, you built that, but don't let the downsides of code get to you and start thinking you're inconsistent or you're incapable or whatever negative
Yeah.
feeling. Throw it away. Okay. Maybe two more questions and we'll call it a day. So, do you have people that inspire you in tech or generally life that you like to share with us?
Oh wow, what a question. Yeah, I it's gonna sound silly, but honestly, my husband, because he's been so supportive, and no, but to be honest with you, like he had experience mentoring people, so he's good at it.
I
Like, what can
love
I
it.
say? So shout out to my husband. But and yeah, in general, there's I feel like, you know what, I feel like I'm a bit on the spot now, and I'm like, I can't really have
No
names in
problem.
mind, but
No problem.
honestly, if you go to my Twitter and see things that I retweet,
Yeah.
usually it's things that I also kind of, agree
Yeah.
with most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of great people in industry,
Yeah.
not necessarily just engineers, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of very varied and interesting voices. Yeah, yeah, super cool people everywhere, which is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the fact that you said your husband. So you need to own it. Like, he's my mentor. My husband
Yeah,
is
no,
my
he
mentor.
is.
He
Yeah,
mentors me a
yeah.
lot, and I'm
But
super
yeah,
grateful for him. So yeah, why not? Just own it. I love it. Honestly, it's good to have a partner that is interested in one's growth and not
yeah.
just somebody that doesn't care. I mean, okay, so last but not the least, what will you say you're grateful for, and how do you see your future panning out in tech?
I mean, um, well, I'm grateful for, I guess, just having in tech, just
Hmm.
having that culture of acceptance.
Hmm.
Now, I know that many people that have been in the industry for a while will come and say, "Oh, but there's so much gatekeeping and this
Hmm.
and that." And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is. I mean, I do see it here and there,
Yeah.
but I'm honestly grateful for the good stuff, right? I'm not going to be
Yeah.
grateful for the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And definitely, there is a culture of acceptance,
Mm.
of people having voices,
Mm-hmm.
and also supporting people that are shy, that don't necessarily know how to just shout into the space of whatever, right? Like, I
Yeah.
know so many people that um, have interesting things to say, but are quite shy.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about, just in general, I see specifically in the industry, is that if somebody has maybe like a small voice, then people around them, sometimes they just become quieter so that you can hear them.
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool. And I don't know, maybe I'm naive. I don't know what industries I've been in before, right? That I haven't really experienced it that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so many different people, and all coming together, not necessarily for the love of code, right? I think it's okay if some people go into it for the money. Absolutely, legit.
Mm.
But like, everyone is welcome, and that's cool, right? if you're
Yeah.
if you're I guess if you can do the job,
Yeah.
then come on in, right? And so I'm definitely grateful for that. um super grateful for just people having the patience and people that are actually doing it as a hobby as well.
Yeah.
That they're so into like mentoring and explaining things, and the countless YouTubers, right, that explain things about the career, or people
Amazing
that explain
people.
floor loops,
Yeah, amazing.
all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Basically, if you wanna become a part of it, you can. You just need to make the steps.
Hmm.
Honestly,
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? Make the steps. We are waiting for you. Take the big leap. Come into tech. The culture is amazing. Of course, everything that is good has its downsides, but if you can focus more on the good, you see that the good outweighs the bad a lot. So, yeah, welcome to tech. I feel like maybe Daria has so many years of industry experience, and then she can take that tech and put it into any industry and just, blossom anywhere she finds herself. So, yeah, thank you, Daria. Thank you so much for doing this. Do you have any last words you want to say to somebody, anybody, anything?
yeah, I'm gonna build on top of what Joanne mentioned in her interview. Is never ever disclose your wanted salary or amounts to recruiters or whatever. Just
Can you
zip
hear?
it, zip it.
I love it. I love it. A lot of women don't like to talk about their salaries, how much they earn, but all of a sudden, recruiters always want to know how much you earn. But that's not. It's not your business. We don't. Sorry, we won't tell you that. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and yeah, a big shout out to my girl Daria. Thank you again for coming, and see you next
Thanks for
time.
having me. Bye.
Bye.